In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the cooling fan and shroud on this Jeep Liberty. It's going to be located under the hood towards the front of the vehicle. Let's get into it. On the radiator, there's a drain on the left side. I'm just going to put a hose on the end of that just so we can direct the coolant. And then have a drain bucket underneath. I'm going to use some needle nose pliers just to loosen up. Make sure the vehicle's cool when you do this. Just loosen up the wing nut right here, or the drain plug. There we go. And let the coolant drain out. Now it's drained out. Now we're just going to close this. Just twist it to the right. Closed. And take the hose off if you added one. We're going to take this hose off. I'm just going to use some hose pliers. Just get around here. Just walk this off. Pull that out of the way. I'll take these screws out. Use a T25 socket. Pull those out. Another one right here. We're going to remove the air box. Disconnect the snorkel. We're going to use an 8mm socket. Loosen up the clamp. Take that off. Set that aside. There's a hose right here. Just pop that off. Now just grab the air box and just pull it straight up. There's some grommets holding it in. There we go. Pull that up out of the way. Now using a 10mm socket, take this bolt out. Take that bolt out. We're going to disconnect the battery, use a 10mm wrench. Loosen up the negative terminal. Take that off, out of the way. And same on the positive, there's a little cover. Just pop the cover up. 10mm wrench. Loosen that up. And take that off, out of the way. Using a 10mm socket, I'm going to take the bracket off for the hold down. Pull that out. Now I'll just grab the battery, pull it out. Now the horn's in my way, so I'm going to take that out. Use a T20 socket, take this screw out. Just move the horn out of the way. And then we can access that bolt. Using a 10mm socket, take this bolt out. Out. And we're going to disconnect the pump, disconnect the electrical connector. I'm just going to use a straight blade screwdriver. Just pry up on the latch right here. Pop that off and take the lines off. You can use a pick or even a straight blade screwdriver. Pop these off. If there's still washer fluid in the tank, it's going to drain out, so you want a drain bucket underneath. Or you can use a fluid extraction pump to remove it. And pop this other line off as well. Pop that off, out of the way. Now take these reservoirs out. Just slide this back. And it comes right out. On the right side, we're going to disconnect this connector down here. I'm just going to use a pick. Just push down on the tab, on the lock tab, and disconnect the connector. If you can reach in there, you can do that as well. It's just a little bit tight. There we go. So you're just pushing down on that tab right there. And above, I'm going to use a 8mm socket. Take this bolt out. Disconnect this bolt on the other side. Use a 8mm socket. Take that out. Now reaching down, there's a bracket right here with the lines attached to that fan shroud. Use a 8mm socket. Take this bolt out. That out. Pop those lines out of the way. Grab the fan shroud and slide it up. There you go. Pull the shroud out. Now take the fan. Just get this past. Just get it past the hose down there. Just have to rock it back and forth a little bit. There we go. And you want to get the lower tabs in. Now take the bolts, get those started. And snug those down. Snug those down. And take the connector, line that up. Lock that in place. Make sure it's secure. It's locked in. Good. Now take this bracket, get the bracket lined up with the lines on it. And get the bolt started. And tighten it down. And snug that down. Now take the reservoir assembly. Get this in place. That's good right there. Now take the bolt, get that started down below. I'll snug that down. I'm going to put the lines on for the washer fluid. And the connector. Push that on. Make sure that's locked down. That's good. Now on this side, we're going to get the horn. Get that lined up. Take the bolt. Get that started. Snug that down. And the other side, get that bolt started. And just snug that down. And take these bolts, get these started. Snug those down. Same with this one. Now just take the battery, slide that in place. Take the hole down, get that positioned in the front. Snug that down. Snug that down. Take the positive terminal, push that on, and take your 10mm wrench, snug down the nut. Give it a wiggle, make sure it's tight, that's good. Put the cap on, and the negative side. Put that on. We'll snug this down. And make sure that's tight. Now take the cap off, just push down off the radiator. Now we're gonna fill the coolant with the appropriate type of coolant. You can check your owner's manual. 50-50 mix. Double check, make sure nothing's leaking underneath. Good. On some vehicles, you may find a bleeder screw right here. We're going to use an 8mm hex socket. Loosen this up. You can see as you loosen it up, you're going to hear some air come out. And the coolant's going to go down if you have a funnel. And close that back up. And just snug that up till it stops leaking. You can put a little pipe sealer on there if it still leaks. That's good. And we'll just use a rag, wipe off the excess. That's good. And you can remove the funnel. And I'm just going to put the cap back on. You can start the vehicle, let it run for about 10 to 15 minutes, monitoring it to make sure it does not overheat. Then shut the vehicle down. After it cools down, double check the coolant level and make sure the reservoir is topped up to where the coolant level should be. You should be good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.